and welcome to BitBoy Crypto. I am your host, BitBoy. Thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about Eminem. We're going to be talking about IOTA. We're going to be talking about Firefox and a possible pump and dump scam going on. Maybe still feeling the after effects right now. Okay, guys, so if you're not a member of our community, we call it the Bit Squad. Make sure that you click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. If you do, you can enter our contest. I'll put the details behind me, but you can get the full description of exactly what you have to do down below. We're giving away a couple t-shirts and also $150 in Bitcoin. So the last contest we had was like 2 months long. This one's only for September. So you still have a chance to win and get in on it. If you start right now, this is the first video. Or today are the first videos that will count for the contest. So today is the second video you can like and comment on in order to enter. All right, guys. So today we're going to be looking at, like I said, a lot of stuff, but let's start with the markets. So right now, Bitcoin is currently at $7,132. Now, it was up over 72. It briefly went over 72. As you can see by all the charts on the right side, it pushed right back against that, and it went right back down. The total market cap is $234 billion, and Bitcoin dominance is at 52.5%. So what does all this mean? I found a post on Reddit where people were talking about just looking at some of these numbers at some of the altcoins, how much they've been pumping, 30% pumped. As you can see here, Dogecoin has had a giant pump. I don't know if these numbers are specifically for today, but you have Dogecoin, you have Bitcoin over 10%, you've got Verge, Siacoin, both around 15% or higher, and people are asking, is this it? Is this the start of the bull run? Well, we don't really know the answer to that question, but one thing that I've learned in my time in my time in cryptocurrency and being a YouTuber is that I feel like people get way too excited way too quick. And I've been so guilty of it. And I think that this market cycle has really matured not just the individual investor, but the people that are trying to give information. It's matured all of us as well. And I've got to this point where I just don't think every time it goes up, all of a sudden we're bullish. I'm waiting for some kind of longer term outlook. If we can get back over 8, I might feel a little better about it. But if you look at something like Ethereum, like let's pull up Ethereum right now and let's look at its chart. Let's look at a 7-day chart here as soon as it pops up. Okay, so hit the 7-day chart here and we can look and you guys will see that, let's zoom it in even a little more than that if we can. Let's just look at the 1-day chart actually. But you guys can see right here, it went up and it got to $301.14. That was the high hit today. And then what did it do as soon as it hit that? It started dropping back down. And I did see people saying today how, they're not going to really believe that we're bullish until Ethereum is back over 300 because Ethereum is really tied to the entire market because of how many projects are built on the platform. Now, of course, Bitcoin is obviously the master when it comes to all the coins. If Bitcoin moves, most of the coins move with it, whether it's up or down. But Ethereum does play into this a little bit too because 80% at least of the projects on CoinMarketCap.com are ERC20s. So a lot of those are dependent upon Ethereum. So when it's not doing well and people are selling out of it, a lot of those projects compile on top of that, or not compile, but they pile on top of that situation by panic selling ICOs that are ERC20s and things like that. So watch that Ethereum 300 number. As long as it is under 300, then it's going to be hard for me to say we're moving forward. So just something to watch out for. Let's look at Aurumcoin. I think that's how you say that, Aurumcoin. Let's look at its chart. This possibly a giant pump and dump today, even though I don't believe anybody... Look at that chart. Obviously, a giant pump and dump today if you look at it that way. Let's look at the 1-day chart of it. Yeah, anytime you have something that goes up and then goes straight across and then drops back down exactly where it was or even lower than it was before it pumped, that is a pump and dump. So what is Aurumcoin? It's basically something that backs the gold standard. They're trying to replace fiat money with gold-backed money, and things like that. So, it's not really important what Aurumcoin is right now to this story because as you can tell, I mean, it's an obvious pump and dump. Now, where people really get hurt is when they see this price jump up here and they say, oh my gosh, it's going to go to the moon, and they FOMO in and buy at the top. Nobody at this top probably was able to sell, because nobody is going to take an Aurumcoin that's worth $1,000 when it's regularly worth much, much, much less than that. Like right now, $52, and it jumped up all the way over to $1,000. So be careful. We're still seeing a lot of manipulation, a lot of volume manipulation, a lot of exchange manipulation. Not so much with the bigger exchanges, but with a lot of the smaller exchanges, it just comes with the territory. So IOTA has actually now partnered with Volkswagen, or together they're going to be partnering this thing called or launching Digital Car Pass. Now what this is going to be is through an Internet of Things network is going to be able to track everything in your car, including the mileage. And this is where we really get into kind of the Big Brother-esque catch-22 of technology. Because think about how great it would be if the dealership had access, or the car company that made your car, if they had access to be able to know all your fluid levels, all your, what point you need certain kinds of services done, how your engine is doing, how your transmission is doing. My transmission just dropped out of my wife's minivan. It only had 70,000 miles on it. Nissan Quest. Don't ever buy one. It's a terrible car. We've had so many problems out of it. And we had to replace the transmission. It was like $3,000. Like, shoot me, But we did it, and we had to take care of it to drive the car. But it would have been nice if we had something that would have been able to give us a heads up before that happened. And it's really, really great. But then you have the other side of it that is, yeah, but now the dealership's always going to be able to know where you're at all times if they wanted to. If they're able to track all of your data, all of your mileage, all of your GPS info, now all of a sudden you have a total roadmap, no pun intended, to your life for anyone to see. And we never know what's going to happen down the road. We never know what political party might rise to power and who they may want to call the current enemy of the times, or say that, want to suppress. We just don't know that kind of stuff. We feel like we're in this world where things are really safe, and maybe you don't. Maybe you live in a place where you don't feel like it's safe. But, I hear all the time, I'm going to get on kind of a political rant here without still being politically agnostic here, which is, a lot of people look at what happened in World War II with Hitler, and they read about it in books, and most people that were alive at that point are dead. And we look back at that time and we say, man, that could never happen today. We're so much more sophisticated. But you have people doing it on smaller scales all across the world, including Kim Jong-un, the Iranian regime, and things like that. And you just don't know where you live what's going to happen. So it's the technology in this is great, but yet we don't know what kind of negative impacts a technology like this could have. But it is a big partnership for IOTA. Don't want to diminish that. IOTA has been, struggling a little bit as of late, but ultimately, right now, this is a big thing for them. They're very heavily involved in the vehicle, the mobility area of crypto and of technology right now. So this is a good partnership for them. And, hopefully they will continue to move forward. I think, let me go back. Let me just say this about IOTA. IOTA has had some issues lately, and there are some questions about the future of IOTA. And will it really be able to work the way people say it's going to work with the Tangle? Is the Tangle going to be able to solve a lot of the network issues? But I want IOTA to work. IOTA sounds like a great project. What they're trying to do is really great. It's just the technological side of the project. There's so much to it that there are questions on whether or not it will succeed. But I certainly do hope it succeeds, because I think the project is, it's a great idea, and it could be a great working product. So Firefox is going to block tracking and hidden mining by default in future versions. There is a website called Pirate Bay. I believe that's the name of it. You may have heard of it. It is a torrent downloading site. They actually tell all of the people that download on their site, hey, we're going to mine Monero on your computer. Click this and say you agree, and if you don't get to use our stuff. So it'll be interesting to see in the future. I know Mac has already done similar things with Safari, and not just with Safari, but I believe Mac computers in general aren't able to mine. I could be wrong about that. But I know like the Honey Miner doesn't have a Mac version, and I think they've got some hurdles they have to get over in that. But I'm not sure if it's just the Mac browser you're not able to, but I know in the iOS store they ban mining apps and things like that. So this is news that, Firefox is trying to protect you. They don't want people coming in and being able to take over your computer. These mining devices in the future are mining toolbars or mining programs that are attached to your browser. They may be like the next wave of pop-ups. Like once people realize they can do that, if you remember like several years ago, and even now sometimes if you have a PC, there's all kinds of toolbars you can download and put on your browsers, and they've all got scamware, spyware. They have spyware on there. They got all kinds of stuff, malware that affects your computer in a negative way. I actually had to throw a computer away one time because I had a virus on it from a toolbar because they snuck it in. They always say like, oh, to complete your download, make sure you get this too. And then you do that, and then it takes over your computer. So it is what it is. But I think Firefox is trying to do the right thing here. And I'm not sure how I feel about even Pirate Bay, what they're doing. But another interesting story, crypto just kind of everywhere right now. Speaking of everywhere, Eminem gives props to Bitcoin on the new record Kamikaze. He did have this line, and I really like this line. I don't know how much sense it really makes, but I kind of get the idea behind it. He says, remember everybody used to buy nickel, now everybody doing Bitcoin. And what he's referring to is when you take a nickel, you know, somebody would, they'd bite. Did you like that sound effect? They would bite the nickel. I sound like my 2-year or 3-year-old. But they would bite the nickel, I guess, to make it sure it's real. I don't know why they would bite the nickel. It was something to confirm something. And now it says everybody doing Bitcoin. And the whole thing he's trying to say here, I believe, is that, you know, used to we traded little shiny pieces of metal for currency, but now it's moving digital. Bitcoin is the new measurement of value. So I think that's a big shout out to him for being able to be forward thinking to look and know that. Maybe wonder whether or not Eminem actually invests in Bitcoin. I know there was like in the NFL with, you know, obviously when it comes to celebrities, you got sports celebrities and entertainment celebrities. Those are the main two. Of course, YouTube celebrities. So Eminem is obviously entertainment, but I remember there was a story a while back about how around the NFL, I believe it was Richard Sherman said that was the hottest thing in the locker rooms. Everybody was talking about Bitcoin last year, and a lot of people invested in it. So, you know, I don't know how many of these celebrities and entertainers invest in Bitcoin. I know some certainly do. I think, God, who's the guy? The guy from Paul Walker from Fast and Furious, before he had his untimely death, he, I believe, held quite a lot of Bitcoin and did a lot of philanthropical work with it, a lot of philanthropy. So I don't know. I don't know how much he owns. I don't know if he owns any, but it was certainly good of him to put this in the song and get the word out for Bitcoin. So, okay, guys, that's all I got for you tonight. We're going to go ahead and cut the video off. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'm going to be going to a NASCAR race tomorrow and hang out with Crypto Love and some more crypto-related people that are going to be here at that race. I'm excited about it. My son's going with me, my brother and things. So I'm going to take a lot of pictures, and I'm going to come back and make a video on Monday about it. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, BitBoy out.